Welcome to the Sentimental Twist,
where two generations share one love for meaningful spaces and gracious hospitality.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Melissa.
Let's gather around the table and talk home, hosting, and all things sentimental.
Yay! Welcome. We're so happy you're here.
Yep, episode 2, season 3, moving right along already.
That's right. I am Melissa. You can find me at Home with a Twist on Instagram. homewithatwist.com is my website, and Home with a Twist on YouTube.
Yes, and I'm at Brittany Shepard on Instagram, thesentimentaldecorator.com, and then Brittany Shepard TSD on YouTube.
So what has your week been like?
Oh, let's think. Just life, work, end of February, early March, getting the spring fever, ready for spring break, which we have another month to go.
When is your spring break?
It is that week that like the end of March, the beginning of April. I think the 31st is on like Tuesday. So it'll be that week.
Wow. Y'all's is late.
Well, we did, because
we're getting ready to have spring break here. It's like the middle of March.
Really? Like even the elementary and high schools?
Yeah, wow. It's always around St. Patrick's Day.
Interesting.
Yeah, like the 13th through the 17th kind of thing.
Yeah, when do they get out of school typically?
Memorial Day, I think.
Okay. So we do too. And so I guess ours is a little more halfway. It may also have to do with like the testing window that the states, that's ours. Like we try to schedule our spring break where it's not going to creep too much into the testing window so schools can test, at an appropriate time for them. So
yeah,
just that spring fever. I think time changes this weekend. So,
Yeah, we've been working in our yard, getting ready for spring. Of course, we always have one more frost.
Always around Easter.
Around the middle to late of, it's after. And when is Easter this year?
It's in March this year, I think.
End of March?
No, I lied. It's the first Sunday in April. April 5th.
Okay, April 5th.
So another month.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about gracious hospitality. And a trend that we're seeing, according to Better Homes and Gardens, is Savory Girl entertaining, which I think speaks your love language.
It does. I'm the OG Savory Girl.
You're more of a savory than a sweet.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. All right, so according to Better Homes and Gardens, and we're going to link the article below.
Okay.
The food editors for 2026 have named this year Savory Girl. Moving beyond sweet treats to bold, thoughtful, savory entertaining, focusing on flavor depth and sophisticated snack boards. Okay, we're all about
love language.
Yeah. The Savory Girl favors briny, herbaceous, and umami-rich bites over sweet treats. Think olives instead of cupcakes, flaky cheese twists over sugar cookies, and snack boards featuring marinated vegetables, nuts, and bold spreads. Yes. It's not about skipping dessert entirely. You always have to have just a little something. For sure. But it's about embracing a more balanced way of indulging the feels just as celebratory. Can you get on board for this, Brittany?
Oh, yeah.
And how would this play out for your style?
Okay, so I'm totally on board with this because I feel like I said, I'm the OG Savory Girl. I have a sweet tooth now that I've never had before, and I blame it on transplant meds and or my donor's sweet tooth.
Did your donor have a sweet tooth? Does your donor have
Yes. I have her DNA now in me.
No, there was some Hallmark show years ago where a girl had a brain transplant. It's comedy, people, or it's TV. And everything that brain wanted was different for how the person was before. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think meds play a lot into it because we are on steroids for the rest of our lives and, steroids, that kind of thing. So, but I have always been a savory girl. I've always wanted spicy savory over sweet my entire life. But okay. So I have been on a savory girl lunch kick lately. I've always been a girl dinner fan, but this lunch thing, it was inspired by a girl that I started following on Instagram this year. You may have seen her. She has some crazy food combinations, but her name is Courtney Cook. Well, Courtney Cook Bales, but her Instagram is Courtney Cook's Insta.
Okay, let me look her up while you're talking.
Yeah. Okay, she's just the cutest little, like, mid-30s teacher in Georgia, and she got popular by sharing her, like, teacher breakfasts and lunches, and probably the main one she's been on, like, the Drew Barrymore show and everything lately, but her main thing that went viral was this, like, baked sweet potato that she just kinda rips the top off of and carves out the middle and puts cheese in it, and then just bites it like a like a sandwich, which
Like,
is so random.
all it is just she piles it like, she takes the potato part out.
No, she leaves some sweet potato in there.
Okay.
It just kinda makes room to shove cheese down in it,
And then eats
like
it.
sticks of cheese. But her other thing that she does a lot of soup dumplings and, like, mixes, like, snacky things, like Savory Girl kind of things like this is talking about. And so my go-to lunch lately has been a Savory Girl lunch, and it's that plate of, like, savory, salty, briny, crunchy. So an example lately, Publix has this tarragon chicken salad that's made in the deli section, and it's so good, and, just a little 6-ounce container or whatever, but I can eat it for several days. So I'll get a scoop of chicken salad and then pickled red onions.
Okay.
Okay. Pistachios, those crispy salad toppers, like either like the wonton strips or the crispy fried onions or the crispy dillies, maybe a boiled egg, and I put a little chicken salad on half of the egg and some pickled red onion and then some Crispies. Okay. And then the other thing that's a Courtney Cook thing is, oh, well, yeah, onion cups.
Okay.
Sweet Vidalia onions sliced to be where you can, like, peel back a layer and it's like a little bowl,
Yes.
and you put a soup dumpling in it,
Okay.
like a pork and vegetable or a chicken and vegetable soup dumpling, and
Yeah.
then you top it with whatever sauces and eat it.
Interesting.
And so then the other thing I've been loving, well, I love Flips, those pretzel crackers,
Yeah.
always love those, but mini cucumbers sliced up using Boursin or Alouette spreadable cheese spreads, like the
Yeah.
garlic and herb. So my lunches have just been a little bit of every one of those things, and I just make combinations. So I think it's very Savory Girl. I love olives. I throw olives in there sometimes, all different kinds of olives, different nuts, pickled vegetables.
I mean, I can totally hear that you are so excited about this because you're just so cute right now describing your I call this a cruise ship plate.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
You
yeah.
know, like you're on a cruise and you're just going to all the different tables and you're getting all the things and assembling a beautiful hostess platter.
And I have been so loving it because I don't have to make anything, like, I
Yeah.
just kinda throw things together, and it's so satisfying because it's all these little things that I love, and I think that's what her Instagram kind of inspired me to do is just kinda, like, throw together things that I like and
Yeah.
not try to fit it into a category, and mix it together, and I've been doing the soup dumplings as well, get those it's like the BB Go brand that you can get from Walmart and different places, but they're just microwavable for, like, 2 minutes, and put them in an onion cup, top it with some chili crisp, oil, and
Yeah.
those I love the French fried onions, the little salad topper onions on top of that for a little crispiness. Girl, I
You are
this is right
so
up my
cute.
alley.
You are so cute right now. And I
I'm
think
like,
it's because like all the different it's not you're not committed to like a full on huge portion of the casserole and green beans. It's like
right.
lots of little bites,
Mhm.
you know? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and, like, the chicken salad, it's just a small thing, it's already made, but it'll last me 3 or 4 days because 'cause I'm only having just a scoop because I have all these other things that I'm combining it with, and I've gotten lazy, but I'll buy the already boiled and peeled eggs just to save time,
How are they
and
tasting?
they're fine. They taste like I boiled them at home, and I didn't have to do all the work.
But
So
don't you have a Instapot?
I do, yeah. I just haven't done it. I just don't do it,
Because
but
you can put those in there and just make like 6 eggs for the week and have one
mhm.
for every day.
And
And
then
there's such a
sometimes
good sense of protein too.
yeah, and sometimes I'll do a little guacamole in there with it, like,
Ugh,
eggs and guacamole to me, there's something about that. But, yeah, so this is
yum.
my brand, if you will, Savory Girl.
Well, I'm totally digging it.
But I
Go
do it I mean, like, entertaining-wise, I know this is about more entertaining, but this is just my personal lunches lately, but entertaining-wise, the charcuterie board kinda trend sorta happened back, what, 2020,
years
2021?
ago. Yeah.
And that mine have always been more savory with more olives, more nuts, things like that. But then, of course, I always have honey, and I always have a preserve, and I always have, like, candied nuts to go
Yeah, and hot honey.
and hot honey. Ugh, Yeah.
But, I'll go even a step further on that, that originally, I think what the original charcuterie board was
Interesting.
the relish tray,
Yeah. I love a
which
relish
was
tray.
what, your mom was too young, I think, for a relish tray, but my mother was really into relish trays, as was my grandmother.
Mhm.
And for those who don't know what a relish tray is, basically it's like pickles,
Pickles.
olives, spring onions,
Mhm.
maybe some chutney,
Yep.
and crackers.
Mhm.
And that's basically what you'd put out, and people would nibble on that during their
Yeah.
cocktail or iced tea before dinner was ready. And that
Yeah.
was it, you
And
know?
so good.
Yeah, and that's all you
Simple.
need.
Yeah.
Simple, simple, simple.
Mhm.
Well, I'm so glad that we found something that really resonated with you.
Are you on board? What's your take on Savory
Yeah,
Girl?
I mean, I do, as in retirement, you find that you don't really cook a lot of meals.
Mhm.
We cooked a lot because Phoebe was living at home.
Yeah.
And then we saw a real big shift in our eating and our cooking when she moved out. We didn't
Mhm.
need as much food, and sometimes we just want cereal for dinner.
Right.
But Mr. Twist is of English heritage, so he really loves a plowman's lunch, which
Oh, yeah.
totally is like a charcuterie board,
And
you
Courtney
know?
does that on her Instagram. She'll do
Does
plow
she?
lunches.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
basically what a plowman's lunch is, for anybody who doesn't know, it originates back when the farmers would, have breakfast, and then they would need to wrap up something in a hanky or a little bag to put on their tractor when they would go work in the fields. Plowman's lunch. It was
Mhm.
usually like a piece of fruit,
Mhm.
a hunk of cheese, a hunk of bread, maybe some chutney, and maybe some Branston pickle,
Yeah.
and that's what they would eat as their snack. They didn't come back home and have a meal until
Mhm.
dinner. So sometimes we'll just do that. One
Yeah.
thing I'm going to try to share it on Instagram is when I was in Santa Fe, my sister gifted me my mother's Waterford coupe glasses.
Oh, fun.
And so I made little charcuteries in the coupe, which was
Uh-huh.
just salami,
Cute.
cheese, some pickles and some olives and a cookie. And that's what we ate for dinner. So
Mhm.
they go on, and this article goes on to say you could even do things like savory oatmeal.
Oh,
Not sure.
interesting.
Okay, I'd be willing
Interesting.
to take a no thank you bite. Savory oatmeal with sesame oil, quinoa, and a jammy egg.
Mm.
Savory ice cream. Apparently, this is a thing where it tastes
Hmm.
like either macaroni and cheese, pizza, or ranch dip. Okay, not
I'm
sure.
not sure.
But
I'm not
yeah,
sure.
but I think one trend that I've heard that I love, because you and I both love chips,
Uh-huh.
is a nacho or a chip board
Okay.
where
Okay.
you take the bag of chips.
Mhm.
It either could be a personal size or a big bag of chips. And instead of cutting it along the top, you split it open like you would a baked potato. And you
Okay.
open the bag of chips on the charcuterie board. And then you have all these toppings to put on top of that.
I like that a
So it can
lot.
either be melted cheese, or it could be ground beef, or it could be like the chili
Mhm.
oil,
Mhm.
or what else, scallions,
Yeah.
onions, and you just mix it all in there, and then everybody just kind of dives in with their
Mhm.
forks and eats it.
Well, Anna did recently, like, the chocolate covered chips, like, you dip
Mm.
and that was really good. Okay, the other thing about Courtney that you really need to follow her,
I
she's
did.
just
I followed her
she's
while
just
you were
cute as
talking.
can be, but she's a British lit teacher, and so
Oh,
a lot of her things, like, she challenged herself to do a Sunday roast every week for, like, a year, like a
okay.
British Sunday roast, so she does that, and so there might be a little bit of stuff that relates to Mr. Twist as well in her account because she
Okay, I
loves,
love that. Well, I
like, she
assured
eats
her.
Weetabix for lunch, I mean, for breakfast, like, I don't know if that's, Australian or British. She's done all the things, like, she tried the Vegemite ice cream, which is Australian.
Vegemite is nasty. I don't even know that Australians like Vegemite. I'm gonna have to ask my friend Alana
Uh-huh.
that follows me. She's an Aussie.
Okay.
I'll have to
That's so
ask her if
funny.
she likes Vegemite.
Yeah.
So I like how this article included that when entertaining, think less about elaborate recipes and
Mhm.
more about thoughtful assembly, marinated vegetables, good
Yes.
bread,
Mm.
bold spreads, and a
Mhm.
few unexpected elements like spice nuts, savory
Ooh,
compound
almond
butters, or
butters.
pickled
Mhm.
fruit. They all go a long way.
Yeah.
The goal, and this is my pillar. This is my
Yeah.
mission statement. The goal isn't perfection, but
Right.
intention.
And everybody, no matter, I mean, we all love a good home cooked meal, but people love snacky foods and appetizery foods as a meal. Like,
Yeah,
it
when you tell me I'm gonna have snacks,
mhm,
I'm all on board,
never
and
fails.
especially if it's a 2 o'clock afternoon Sunday when I'm normally taking a nap,
Mhm.
but if you tell me I'm gonna have snacks,
I'll be there.
I will be willing to forego my nap to come to your house for snacks.
And I do this snacky idea with my nibblings because when they're at my house, sometimes they're not gonna sit. They don't want a meal, and so I'll say we're gonna have a snack lunch, and it's the same things that I would probably feed them for lunch, but I make it in one of those old school lunchroom trays, and they just think like and then they eat the whole thing. They eat the mandarin orange. They eat the sandwich stuff, and that it.
I I have some of those trays. I bought
Mhm.
them at the Japanese dollar store, Daiso.
Uh huh.
They're probably the size of a piece of
Yeah.
paper,
Uh
eight
huh.
and a half by 11, and they look like an old vintage school tray. Why have I not thought about getting those out for my nibblings when they come?
And they love it. They think it's the coolest thing. So, if you call it a snack lunch, they're gonna eat it. So
And kids don't wanna sit for a long meal.
no.
They get distracted.
Mhm,
So if you can just put them up on the counter with the bar stools, they can just
mhm,
kinda nibble, go play, come back and eat. That's a
mhm.
great idea. I love that. I wanna
Yeah.
get them over to spend the night. So, I have 2 things that I wanted to talk about that go along with what we just talked about.
Ooh,
One
okay.
is if people are new to the snack board or to the charcuterie board. You have this? Yeah.
I have it.
This is from Meg Quinn. She's on
Mhm.
Instagram. I can't remember. Is she the
What is
reluctant entertainer?
No, she's,
No. Look her
let
up
me
while I'm
look.
talking about this. So, when this came out, what I'm showing everybody if you're listening is it's called the cheese board deck. It's 50 cards for styling spreads, savory, and sweet. And basically, you just go through and you pick out a card.
Oh, she's Ain't Too Proud to Meg on
It
Instagram.
too proud to make. Okay, so let's say, let me find one. Lunch and dinner. Okay, so this kind of speaks. I just pulled it out. So it's called Lunch and Dinner. And it's a beautifully photographed board
Mhm.
picture.
I think I've done
And
that
then
one
you
before.
flip it over on the back and it tells you the Raid the Fridge board, and it gives you exactly what you need. So you could
Mm,
take this with you to the grocery store and go, okay, I need Colby Jack and blue cheese. I need turkey meat and salami, hummus and ranch, Triscuits and pretzels, and then celery sticks, carrot sticks, strawberries, green and red grapes, blackberries, raspberries. For your sweets, you could do trail mix, yogurt covered pretzels, peanut butter cup pretzels, and peanut butter cups. And then she tells you sneak in more veggies with beet hummus recipe, and then she gives you a recipe. So
mhm.
these
I
cards
love that
make
thing.
this cards. I gave this as a wedding gift to with wrapped it up in cellophane with a charcuterie board, a
Such a
cutting
sweet
board.
gift. Yeah.
So if you're trying to get into the boards and you just need inspiration, I think these are on Amazon, 20
Mhm.
bucks maybe.
Yeah, and it's really helpful too for, like, arranging, like, looking at her pictures and making it
Yes.
a beautiful presentation. I really like that
Yeah.
too.
And the other thing I would suggest is on my digital store, it's free. I have a winter hosting guide,
Oh,
and it's got 3 different recipes. I think it's got cheesy jalapeno thumbprint cookies,
yum.
um, chipotle rosemary nuts, something else, I can't remember what's on there. And then it gives the directions to assemble the hostess, host in a minute kit that,
Mhm, mhm.
basically is a lot of staples you could leave
Yeah,
in your pantry.
love that.
Gives lots of suggestions, very similar to this board, and then things to do in 15 minutes before people are coming.
Mhm.
And you can print that onto your device or make a copy of it and put that up on your refrigerator. It just gives you some quick hosting tips. Mainly, it's geared toward somebody just called and said, "Hey, I'm going to be
Oh,
swinging
right.
by. I want to see you," and how you can very simply entertain people with very little effort.
Yeah,
So,
I like that. That's fun.
okay, that was a fun segment.
Yes, I'm all like, if we talk about food, I'm gonna have to go eat in a minute.
I am too. Okay, so I guess we're going to move on to Porch Talk speed round. Do you want to kick that off?
Sure, I can. So, Porch Talk Speed Round for those newbies is where we fire off quick questions and share even quicker answers. So, you can get a little peek behind the screen door to see who we really are. And so we can get to know each other better too, because it's so fun to see how the same some of our answers are and how different some of our answers are. It cracks me up.
Yeah, the fact that you like black coffee, I'm still trying to get over that. I don't get it. It's just not you.
I don't know.
Okay. You ready?
Okay. Are you asking? Okay, you're asking me. I'm ready.
Yeah. First sign of spring that you always look for.
So, I'm in a very mild weather area. So we have, blooming trees, Japanese magnolias in January. But for real spring is when the azaleas start popping and they
Mm.
bloom early here, mid to late February and into March. It kind of depends on how cold our winter is. And so mid March, we have the azalea dogwood trail. And my house is on the azalea dogwood trail, and I have a lot of azaleas in my yard. And with my landscaping that I redid back in November, I added more azaleas so
Oh,
that
cool.
my house will be even more, it'll take a couple of years for them to be fully, ready, but they're blooming. I mean, they're reblooming kind. So I had some rebloom back before Christmas. I had some blooms, but this area of my town has some dogwoods still. Dogwoods don't really do great here after, a couple of decades. They start to peter out a little bit, but
Mhm.
we have some beautiful dogwoods, tons of like azaleas that are 8 feet tall and 8 feet wide, like huge old azaleas. So,
And you have camellias too.
yeah, we do have camellias, and we have camellias that, we have the sasanquas that kind of bloom October, November, and then into December is your regular japonica, the ones you kind of quintessential camellias.
Yeah, and how long do they stay blooming?
They bloom into February usually. It kind of depends on the variety, but all of mine have bloomed or are blooming right now. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I think that's when I first started following you, when you would pick your camellias and you'd bring them in the house.
Yes.
That was one of the first questions I think I asked you on Instagram is, "Where are you that you have these
Yes, I
beautiful
think so too, now
flowers?"
that we think about it.
Yeah.
And now at my old house, and I'm really sad that I left this beautiful camellia there, and I would love to be able to source it, so if anybody is listening knows, there was this beautiful camellia that I didn't Anna nor I had really seen before at my house, and she did some research. This was at my old house, like I said, and it was called, a Rose of Dawn camellia. And so I'm really sad that I had to
Oh.
leave that, and I would love to get one to add to my yard, and I can't remember the Latin name for it. I'd have to look it up, 'cause you kinda have to know the plant species, the plant name for it because
Well, would the
there's so many
landscapers
varieties.
that did your landscaping know?
No, I mean, it was probably 50 years old. So and
No,
they
but
did
I mean, they wouldn't know a variety
they
of
might
landscape?
they might I have several pictures of it, and I'm probably gonna ask, the local nursery owner guy to start looking when
Yeah,
he
or call, I mean, I'm sure these are all over the country, not just here, but you have your extension service.
extension. Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
they would know. A master
Yeah,
gardener probably
yeah.
would be able to
I wanna
direct.
be a master gardener, but all the classes are during work.
Well, when you are able to leave your job and work full time from home, being the sentimental decorator, you can take that up.
From your mouth to God's ears.
It will happen, I believe it. Put it out there and you'll manifest it. Okay, are you a spring cleaner or spring ignorer?
I don't know that I'm really a spring etherer. So I will clean out and sort through things throughout the year, like when I feel like it's needed. But I don't really have like a specific pattern or ritual of spring cleaning or cleaning out something specifically. It kind of might depend on like the project that I'm working on at home if I have one that needs to be done. Like this spring and early summer, I would like to get what it's called the bustle room in my house and turn it into a workroom slash office where I can eventually move the podcast recordings to in there and kinda just have a setup in there that I don't have to put up and take down and have a big dining table as a desk so I can spread out all my
Yeah.
projects and things. But, so within that vein, if that's my next, like, big decorating, styling room project, then I need to clean out that room, which has been the catch-all room.
And tell
Like
me why you call it a bustle room.
okay, so it's an added-on bedroom and bathroom to this house. So, originally, this house was 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, and they had a teenage son and a daughter that was, like, 5 years younger, so when he got older as a teenager, they needed an extra bedroom, so they added on for him, and that's where all the friends came in and out. There's an exit to the exterior from it, and so they called it the bustle room because all the bustle hustle and bustle happened
How
there, and they
cute.
called it that, and it just kinda stuck with me because I thought it was just so cute, and so I still call it the bustle room,
So they
so
used that in the description of the house?
when she was walking me through, she was like, "This is a bustle room." And I was like, "What do you mean?" 'Cause I mean, in my mind, I'm like, bustle, yes, hustle and bustle, but I was thinking like
The
bustles on the
dress.
back of a dress. So I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, maybe she sewed in here or whatever, you know?"
Yeah.
And, but she was like, "No, this was my brother's room, and he just was always had friends in and out, and so we just talked about how it was the hustle and bustle, and it has like, its separate entrance, and so it would be ideal for a workspace and office, one
Yes.
day if I'm able to do that." So
What all do you need to do to that room?
it needs floors. It was half porch, half added on area to make it go farther out. So there's like concrete halfway through and then pillars where then they had plywood. So it has to like I pulled the carpet up not knowing that it was only half and half. And so the carpet was gross anyway, so it needed to be pulled out. But so I need to have it like leveled out into one floor and put flooring down. Paint, the bathroom really needs a full gut job. It's teeny, but it's nice to have. It has its own, split unit because it's not connected to the HVAC system, which I'm fine with. But it just needs new floors, paint, be cute, made cute, basically. So
So do you use it at all now?
it just is where everything kind of goes. Like it's where I had all of my wrapping paper at Christmas
Okay.
time, and I
So
wrapped
right now you're
presents out
kinda using it
there.
as a catch-all room.
Yeah, extra
Okay.
boxes that haven't been unpacked, all those kind of
It's
things.
nice to have those
It is,
those
and
rooms.
it has some built-ins in it, and so, it'll be where, like, files live and, office typey stuff
Yeah.
will be here,
I
so
think everybody thinks they need to have one more room in their house.
I think so too. I think
Or
that's
a
a
whole or another house. I always think that whenever I see furniture I want. I'm like, "Well, I just need
uh-huh.
another house."
I do that too. I do that
Wait
too.
till you see the chairs I just got.
No.
I bought them at the antique store. They're vintage. I just put them in my ladies' lounge.
Oh, I
When Mr. Twist saw me and Phoebe bring him in the house, he's like,
where are those gonna go?
Where are those going? We do we have room for them?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'll make room."
Mhm.
Okay. Dishes done immediately or next day?
Usually immediately, unless the dishwasher is full and currently running, but then I might just hand wash them. I usually don't let things sit overnight too much.
Yeah, you don't seem like you're the type that would do that.
Occasionally, if it just the timing is wrong with the dishwasher, like if I can't immediately put things in the dishwasher that I don't wanna wash by hand.
Sure.
So, yeah.
What is your comfort habit?
I don't really know, like, this is hard because I have so many comfort
No, I know one.
things. Well, my slow morning is my comfort habit, like,
Yes.
that's the main thing. If I have my routines and my rituals that make my day comfortable, so, like, my waking up earlier than I really need to so that I can have a slow morning, that makes a comfortable day for me. I'm off if I don't have that. And then, of course, I, like, enjoy lighting candles kind of in the evening to signal it's time to slow down and wind down, or my candled lamp if I don't feel like lighting a full candle situation. But, yeah, my mornings are my comfort habit. I love a good
Okay.
morning.
That's one of the things I really like about you or I admire about you is you are so good at being disciplined with your rituals.
They make
I
my life
just
enjoyable.
Yeah, I really admire that about you. Okay, 3 things you always have in your refrigerator, but it doesn't count with eggs, butter, and milk because we all have that.
Okay, so this is just piggybacking right off of Savory Girl.
Okay.
So I always have olives, and I always have a variety of cheeses, and LaCroix, bubbly water, sparkly water,
What's your favorite LaCroix flavor?
limoncello,
Limoncello.
limoncello.
Oh, that's a good
Mhm,
one.
it's
Okay.
good.
All
So,
right.
okay, are you ready for the questions?
Yes.
Okay. What is the first sign of spring you always look for?
Well, there's 2 things. Daffodils for sure.
Mhm.
We always have a really nice crop of daffodils, and I get so busy in the fall that I forget to plant more, and I really wanna make that I'm gonna really work hard on my garden this year,
Mhm.
but daffodils and my mother always used to say, "When you see a robin, that's your first sign of
Yes.
spring."
Mhm.
And my mother loved birds. I know you love
Yep,
birds
I
too.
do.
Did your
Mhm.
mother love birds?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. So, you know what? Now that you say that, that makes me think too, is when the robins come and eat the berries off of my holly trees is one of the first signs of spring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, keep going. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, no, I was just gonna say, it was always my mother's, we'd see a robin hop around the yard, and even as a little girl, she would always say, "Well, you know what happens when you see a robin?
Mhm,
Spring's coming."
mhm.
And there's nothing prettier than robin's eggs.
I know.
And that robin's egg blue.
Oh, I know. So
So yeah,
yeah,
that's my first sign of spring.
I love that. I love that
Mhm.
one. We always say too when it you can actually start working in the yard is when the pecan trees start blooming, like leafing out is when you can start planting.
We don't have a lot of pecan trees in our neighborhood. We have a lot of Bradford pear,
Ugh.
which ours
Stinky.
blew down after a couple of like, we kept losing pieces of it during
Because they, like, split
storms,
down the middle, yeah.
and then finally it just toppled over, and we're like,
Mhm.
"Fine, great, we didn't like you anyway." So,
They're pretty for a minute, but they're stinky.
well, they grow fast, so
Mhm. They're
they're a
invasive.
home builder's dream because they, make your yard look like it has something in it, but they're
Mhm.
just if you're listening and you're thinking about landscaping and you're a new homeowner, please don't. If you live in the South or I guess wherever,
Yeah.
don't do a pear tree. They're trash. They won't survive a big windstorm.
The
Even a
grumpy
big one.
gardener would be really mad if you planted one.
Yeah, I mean, everybody on our street has lost all their Bradford pears. This
Mhm.
house has been here 20 years, and no one has a pear tree anymore.
Mhm.
And they don't
'Cause they
even make
split.
pears. They're not
Yeah,
even
I don't
they don't yield fruit, so I don't anyway,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, are you a spring cleaner or a spring ignorer?
I'm a spring
Ignorer.
cleaner.
Yeah, I know.
It's killing me that I need to get outside and,
Mm,
like, clean off my porch.
mhm. Yeah,
We
don't do it though. We can't do it though because the pollen is gonna I mean
Yeah, we have a window cleaning service. They're called Pink's Windows. They're the cutest little company. They dress in vintage and retro looking uniforms,
cute.
and pink and white is their colors,
Mhm.
and their font is even Pink's window cleaning with, like, those retro stars in the
Cute.
cute font,
Uh-huh.
and they're the cutest little boys. I say little boys, they're in their 20s, but, I mean, it's no problem for them to get up on the ladder and clean our windows, so we use them in the spring and in the fall. And I guess they were here in October. So April or, after we get finished with our spring storms, they'll be back to clean the windows.
Yeah.
And they take the screens off in the summer because we can't
Mhm.
have our windows open. It's too hot. And then they'll put
Yeah,
them back on in the fall.
yeah,
So things like spring cleaning, like cleaning out your lights on your front porch and getting all the
mhm,
cobwebs off and,
yeah.
you know, dusting off
I
everything.
I can't even attempt to do that until the pollen because we
I
have
get it.
such thick pollen,
Yeah.
and it's already probably starting.
Yeah.
It's just not as invasive yet. Like, there's just clouds of yellow, you know?
Yeah.
It's rough because we have a lot of pine trees, and it's pine.
Yeah.
But okay, are your dishes done immediately or next day?
In a in an ideal world, I would have the dishwasher
Yeah.
already run and emptied so
Mhm.
that everything could go right into the dishwasher. If that doesn't happen, usually by the end of the night, I'm just way too tired
Mhm.
to do it, so I'll just leave it. I'll rinse everything,
Mhm.
and then I'll just wait, and then the next morning, I'll deal with it.
Yeah. A lot of it does depend on that dishwasher status. Mhm,
Yeah,
for
and whether or not I used, like, stuff that can't go in the
yeah.
dishwasher, like china and crystal and
Mhm.
silver, I'll just leave that out and, take care of it the next day. That doesn't bother me to leave dirty dishes in the sink. I know a lot of people don't like to do that. It's kinda like part of their close of shift,
Mhm.
but, it's just not something that bothers me.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me either, I just usually habitually do
It's
it.
just nice, when you get up in the morning to not have to tackle the kitchen. I get that, but usually I'm too tired by the time everybody has left, so
Yeah, I get it. Okay. What is your comfort habit?
naps.
Naps, yes.
Naps.
I wish I had more time.
Some days I really need one, and some days I'll get busy doing something and I'll push through it.
Mhm.
But especially on the weekends, I just really love a good nap.
Mhm.
My cats and Hazel like to, snuggle with me, and that gives me a lot of comfort. And naps, or another comfort measure, which is a lot, I think what a lot of women do is eat.
Snack.
Snack.
Have a savory board
Yeah.
or a
Snack
sweet
in
treat.
bed. Or, buy a really good couple of cookies at a bakery and, you
Mhm.
know, take an eat them and then take a nap.
I need the sweet version of a Savory Girl board for when I want a sweet,
Mm.
you know?
Well, look at your cheese board deck.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. 3 things you always have in your refrigerator, but eggs, butter, and milk don't count.
Extra sharp cheddar cheese
Okay.
in a block.
Mhm.
I never buy the pre-shredded stuff.
Okay.
And the reason is because you pay a little bit more, and it also has a coating on it
Yeah.
to keep it from clumping,
Mhm.
and it doesn't melt as well.
That's true.
So, if a recipe and here's a note, if a recipe calls for cheddar cheese, always buy extra sharp,
Okay.
not sharp, but extra sharp,
Extra.
because it has much more flavor. I
Mhm.
don't think now that I've only ever used extra sharp, I don't ever taste the cheese if it's just plain cheese, because I use it in casseroles. I use it on a baked potato. I use it in soups. I use it to make grilled cheese.
Mhm.
So extra sharp cheddar cheese.
Okay.
I always have a bottle of bubbly.
Mhm. I do too.
And let's see what else. Cottage cheese,
Mm. Okay.
because I love cottage cheese on in my scrambled eggs.
Okay. Yum.
I love cottage cheese with pineapple,
Mm.
and I love cottage cheese on, like, a piece of toast with avocado.
Yum.
To me, that's just, and then a little sprinkle of everything bagel seasoning.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
just, like,
Mm.
the best protein laden, and maybe with sliced eggs on the top.
Mm.
And some of that crunchy chili
Oh, yeah.
oil.
Chili oil. Mm.
I am so hungry right now.
I know, me too.
So that
I'm gonna
that
have
would
a Savory Girl board when we're done.
yes. So that would be what would be in my refrigerator.
I love it. That's awesome.
Okay, I want you now, we're gonna spend some time talking about your Storykeepers home,
Okay.
your project over
My
on your
story
web. Yes, tell us
Yeah.
about it. Tell us all the things.
The Storykeepers Circle. Okay. So, the Storykeepers Circle, I think I like to describe it best as instead of like a program, it's not a program, it's a gathering place. It's really a community place for kindred spirits. That's what I like to say too, because that's who I've found through this journey of sentimental style on the Instagram. It's just so many kindred spirits who want to honor their past and embrace their present and navigate the seasons of life and just general seasons by creating homes with sentimental items that bring them joy and daily rituals, because rituals are such a big part of my life. And so the Storykeeper Circle was kind of born out of, I did that sentimental style starter kit last year, and part of it, I did this 21-day walkthrough with these ladies, and we met weekly on Zoom to do parts of the kit together. And the takeaway was the community aspect of it and just how refreshing it was to connect with other ladies that kind of, we were all different ages and different seasons of life, but kind of had that same heart and mindset for home as being a place of memory and meaning and not just decorated as a project. And of course, we value the aesthetics and the beauty of home, but there was more to it than just that, the meaningful side of things. And so I think people hear the word like nostalgia, and even like grandma chic, I guess, is kind of my style. But for Storykeeper Circle, it's not necessarily, you don't have to have my style or really any decorating style at all, because it's more than decorating. So that's the lens that I came through with the Storykeeper Circle, having meaning and beauty in your home so that it fills your days with joy. Like a lot of the things that we talk about here, but
Mhm.
having a community alongside of you off of Instagram that's not determined by the algorithm, that you connect with on a regular basis, and you walk through story keeping activities together. And when I say story keeping activities, I mean things like, okay, identifying the current season that you're in your life and talking about ways that your home can support you in that season of life. I mean things like, okay, you have this season of transition and change. Maybe you're downsizing, right sizing, you're sorting through a loved one's things that you've got to decide what to do with. So having support and community as you process those decisions, like what to keep, what to let go of, how to display it, like styling it in a way that's meaningful for you, where it feels beautiful and collected and not cluttered. So it's not necessarily about having style that looks like my style,
Yeah.
because everybody's bringing in things that are meaningful to them. And it's about really helping us understand how to live with sentimental pieces in a way that feels intentional and supportive and aligned with our current season, and not really not stuck in the past and not cluttered, but that brings us joy. And so we talk a lot
Yeah.
about discernment and decisions in the Storekeeper circle. And we've been meeting, we officially kicked off at the beginning of February, and every month has a theme, and we have activities and prompts and a live gathering that's sort of centered around that theme. And so right now the circle is actually closed because I wanted to very intentionally
Right.
open it.
Keep the community together.
Yeah,
Mhm.
open it seasonally. So I'm hoping to open it again in the spring, probably April timeframe, because I wanted this group of ladies to really have a chance to connect as a group and walk through some of these things together and support each other as we're learning what this community looks like. And then they can sort of be the welcoming committee for new members
Sure. Your
as,
ambassadors.
yeah,
Yeah.
as we grow. And so right now it's currently closed as far as signups, but there is a wait list. So I'll put in the show notes the website. You can go to it and you can click to join the wait list, and I'll send an email leading up to the next time I open it.
So if someone's listening to this,
Mm,
what describe the ideal person that would want to join your Storykeeper circle?
okay. The ideal person is probably in a season of uncertainty or change when it comes to home or how they're connecting with their home. Most of us in the group have experienced some sort of loss that has led to decision making as it relates to sentimental things. Some are
And that
empty
loss
nest.
can either be a divorce
Mm-hmm.
or a
Um,
death.
mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Downsizing, empty nesting,
yeah.
just change in general that's making home feel a little bit disconnected, off, if you will. Or you're facing those decisions as it relates to sorting through a loved one's things and not wanting to feel guilt or regret around decisions that you make, and just wanting a more supportive way to do it than just decluttering, because it's not
Right.
about
Just
declutter.
taking it all to
Mm,
Goodwill.
yes. Age range varies. I'm 41. I think I'm the youngest, but there are other 40s, 50s, some 60s. And those ladies are thinking about the future for their children and grandchildren, and wanting to make sure the stories of the items that they want future generations to keep and have are documented. So we do a lot of that.
Oh, I love that.
So one of the monthly themes, and it's a constant theme, is writing those stories down in a way that can go beyond you, be carried on beyond you.
Or we've talked
Um,
about that, when
yeah,
that our mothers are gone and we don't have the history of
mhm,
what it is, this piece that means so much to us.
right,
Where did it come from? How did they get it?
right. And so really anybody in any of those kind of seasons, or just wanting a community of like kindred spirits that look at home in this way, that want to honor meaning in their homes, that want to feel grounded in their homes, want to feel more joyful in their homes, want direction on how to use their meaningful things and style their meaningful things. And it's not just me, it's the group together offering. Like one lady posted some pictures of bookshelves that she's working to restyle, and getting some ideas from the crowd, from the group, about how to do that. And one lady, is her home holds 4 generations. And
Mm.
so, how to navigate some of that. And it's just it's a group of ladies that just, it already feels like we have been meeting together for months on end as far as getting to know each other, but it's really only been a month. It's just conversation. We'll randomly one off have a Saturday morning if we're available to just pop on Zoom and have coffee together at 9 a.m. and chat. But we do workshops that I'm hoping to bring in some guests to do some of the workshops. I intend to. I haven't said this to Kate yet. Maybe by the time this episode airs, I'll say this to Kate. But I want Kate to come and teach about photo organizing and keeping stories through the photo organizing that we had Kate on last year, on
Yeah.
the last season on the podcast, and other guests kind of in the same realm of, or adjacent to this idea, as far as story keeping goes. So, to explain it a little bit better, let me read a sweet message from one of the story keepers in the story keeper circle that she just shared in our community today. She said, "Being a story keeper right now is a totally new way for me to look at everything I own. I want to make intentional decisions about what items to treasure forever and what items I could let go of. I want to record the stories of the things I treasure and leave those stories for my family. I'm excited to begin this journey with all of you and look forward to learning about story keeping together." So it's really just about that, recognizing the stories in your home of the things that belong to you, that you love, that came from people you love, that you can see future generations loving forever and ever, and recording those stories so that they know them and can treasure them as well. So
Yeah, I kind of see this as a support group,
it is really.
for people to gather in community,
Hmm.
talk about the things they love, challenges they're facing
Hmm.
about maybe the season that they're in,
Hmm.
and really getting emotional support and
Hmm.
validation
Yeah.
about
And we,
maybe
yeah.
course correcting, on some
Hmm.
things that they've been challenged with. So,
Yeah, and part of it is providing resources for people doing those things, and so, we do things like heirloom inventories, we write story cards and make it become sort of a ritual in our lives so that it doesn't feel, like, overwhelming to do all at once, but we're taking the time together to set aside weekly time, monthly time to really focus in on those things where we can, accomplish that in a way that doesn't feel pressure driven, guilt laden. It gives us a way to do it in a community with support, in a rhythm, so that it feels, just a part of everyday life, becoming a story keeper in your everyday life. So,
yeah, so each time you meet, they're given a new task or a
mhm,
new way of looking at it, and then
mhm.
the support and the tools to be able to
Yes.
accomplish that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think you're doing great work.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun, it's intentional, it's very community driven. It's something that I felt like I needed when I was sorting through things with my mom, a
Mhm.
method and a framework, and also a support community, and so it's almost like I created what I felt like I needed at the time, so I'm hoping that other people can benefit from it as
I
well.
could see this as something that a daughter could do with her mom.
Yeah, I think that's
Like
beautiful.
if my mom were still alive and she was needing to downsize, that we could do
Mhm,
this together,
mhm.
and that the daughter could learn about the mother's things.
Yeah, because I think mothers, have a fear that it will be forgotten, and so doing that together, I actually suggested that in one of my emails, like, I was like, "Daughters, if your moms would love to do this and maybe they're not super tech savvy, let's do it together," you know?
Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
time that y'all can gather in your
And
homes
together.
together,
Mhm.
and then let's dial in with Brittany. Is there a charge for your circle?
Yes, it is $37 a month or annually 370 a year, which is basically 2 months
Yeah,
2
I think
months
that's a
fee.
great investment.
So, yeah.
Love
It'll
that.
open again soon. I'll keep y'all
Okay,
posted.
okay. So I would love for our listeners to send us an email to say, what does nostalgic decor mean to them?
Mhm.
What are some things they're trying to do for their home to tell a story? What are some things they want to ask us, our opinion to weigh in on how they should keep those memories alive?
Mhm.
So I'd love to hear from you if you want to send us an email at the sentimental twist podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on now.
Oh, yeah.
Blessed I had to share
Oh,
it.
it's blessing time. Okay, you wanna go first?
Sure.
Yeah,
So
you share.
this is where Brittany and I share things that we're loving right now, things that are just lighting our houses on fire, and we just love it and we want to share it with you.
Yes.
So I'm going to start a new series on my Instagram on Mondays,
I love a
and
series.
it is from the Emily Post Institute, Mind Your Manners.
Cute.
And it is 150 questions and answers. It's a game of etiquette trivia. So I thought maybe we could play one.
I love it. Let's do it.
All it is just a little deck of cards. And if you wanted to, sit around, I think there is a little instruction manual in
Uh-huh.
here on how
To
you can
actually play a game. Mhm.
yeah, play the game. And basically think what they said is the person who hosted the most recent is the one who starts the card game.
Okay. Fun.
Kinda like Trivial Pursuit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's see.
I'm nervous.
Okay. At an informal party, you want to introduce, this is an interesting one, Albicinia, your boyfriend,
Oh,
and
okay.
alma mater, your dissertation advisor. Which is correct? Albicinia, this is Professor Alma Mater, my dissertation advisor. Professor Al, this is Professor Al is my boyfriend. That would be option A. Or should you say Professor Mater, this is my boyfriend Albicinia. Al, Professor Mater, is my dissertation advisor.
Those are the two options?
Mm-hmm.
I think you addressed the professor first.
Correct. Professor Mater outranks Al, and the higher ranking person is addressed first. Okay, let's try another one.
I did it. I got it right.
You got it right. And I've done a few of these, and surprisingly, I'm kind of like, okay, well, I could work for the Emily Post Institute. See, some of these are about their titles, and then some of these, like here's one that I read to myself. Dinner ended almost 2 hours ago, and the host is stifling yawns. May the host tell his guests he needs to call it a night. A, yes, tactfully, or B, no, it's rude to ask people to leave when he invited them in the first place.
I just have on my like dry erase board, please leave by 9. Just kidding.
I do too. I have that sign. I have that sign, and I have napkins that say, please leave by 9.
I think that, I don't know, that's hard, but I think you should be able to say, I don't know. That's hard. I think A. I think you can tactfully ask people to disassemble. Is it saying no?
No, the answer is A.
Okay.
This is what you can say. Because this would be me. I get so tired. Like, I want to eat dinner at 5.
Mm-hmm.
This has been so wonderful. Thank you all for coming tonight, but I'm afraid I must call it a night and close down this shindig.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And I don't think anybody would mind.
No.
They'd be like, because they're probably all waiting for someone else to leave.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll do one more.
Okay. I'll usually say, y'all, it's been so fun. I have an early morning tomorrow, like, especially if it's a weeknight.
Yeah.
I know you all like have early mornings too, so.
A dinner guest accepts your offer of tea, but you, a Philistine, have only tea bags, no loose tea. What do you do?
I serve them tea with the tea bag. I don't know.
Are you a Philistine? I don't know what that means. Steep the tea in the kitchen. Check to see how strong your guest likes it and take out the bag before serving. And don't feel bad about your tea preferences, to each their own. But like there's another question in there that says, you've been invited to a meat eater's dinner and you're a vegan or a vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
How do you tactfully remind the host of that? Do you show up and be resentful that there's not going to be any food for you? Do you B, ask her to prepare something that you can eat? Or C, do you offer to bring a couple of items that would satisfy your need to not have meat?
I would do C.
That's the answer.
Okay.
I think there's a way you could probably say, I just want to remind you, in the new year, you may not know this. I have decided to not eat meat, but may I bring a couple of dishes that are really good that would be something I could eat, and I think your guests would love them.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to turn that down?
Yeah. And maybe even see like what they're planning so you can compliment it,
Exactly. Yeah. So that is a fun little game. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Mind Your Manners.
Cute.
So tune in on my Instagram because I'm going to be doing, it's Monday. It's Mind Your Manners Monday.
I love it.
And we're going to be learning about etiquette together. And I think, there are kind of like we talked about in the last episode is that who invented some of these rules. I think some of these things could be kind of relaxed a little bit. But I think there are just some general rules about how to be a gracious guest and be respectful of your host that are just across the board. Doesn't matter how many years this has been the rule. Some of that still stands. So,
yeah. Okay. So my blessed is
what is your blessed?
Yeah, totally opposite, which is so fun. So spring is springing, soon. And the clocks are moving forward this weekend. And that blows my mind that it's that time.
Spring
Springboard is
forward. We lose
awful.
an hour.
I
This
hate
is
it.
when we all enter that fatigue, that
Mhm.
fog of fatigue.
Yes. Well, I love it in the afternoons, of course, because it's brighter, longer.
Yeah.
But naturally, the sun, it naturally does that. So why we gotta make ourselves feel like death for 2 weeks in the morning? And
And yeah, and the kids hate it. The parents of kids hate it because the kids are up early.
yeah, and okay, so that means the sun is going to be coming up later. And for us morning people, early risers, that is hard and not fun. And so that's why I got a sunrise alarm clock.
What kind did you get? I
I
just
got the
saw someone talk
hatch.
about oh, you did. You got
Yeah,
the
it's the
hatch.
one that I talked about in the gift guide episode.
Yes.
It's the
Okay.
Hatch sunrise alarm, and I wear my Apple Watch to sleep because I like to track my respiratory rate and things like that, and so my alarm is actually vibrates on my wrist, and so it's not a loud I never wake up to a loud sound anyway, which is nice, but it brightens just ever so gently for about 15 minutes before the time, and so your body is sort of waking up as it would if the sun was streaming into your windows.
Yeah.
And I really, really like it. I had an older iteration of this like 10 years ago, but it wasn't nearly as good. But this one, and it has sound machine, things like that, but I don't really use that much. But I do feel like it helps me feel less groggy when my alarm goes off. And I don't
He
know.
does it have a thing for you to listen to bird sounds?
Yep.
I think that would just be so
Mhm.
romantic.
The nature sounds for waking up. Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's what the birds do at
But
sunrise.
don't you have to pay for the app?
Yeah, there are components of it that are subscription based, but I just use the alarm clock as it is, basically.
Okay. Because my nibblings have that,
Mhm.
specifically for my nephews,
Yes.
because they get up at 5.
Mm.
I think they're your nephews.
Yeah, they probably
That does not roll at Aunt Missy's house. So
That's
I
so
make
funny.
their mother bring that hatch, and I get in the back end and load on the app on my phone, and I change that puppy
Mhm.
that it does not start getting light until, like,
Yeah,
8.
and there's one of them. I don't know if this one does it, but it for the ones designed for the kids, you can make it where it changes colors so that
Yes.
they know it's okay to leave their
Yeah,
bedrooms.
so I totally had it red, which is stop, do not get out of your bed until late. Now, I saw one on Instagram the other day that's called blue something, and it's
Hmm.
kinda like a hatch.
Mhm.
But I went and looked at and it has an app that you can use, but the app didn't have very good ratings.
Ratings. Mm.
Yeah, so I think the hatch is probably the one that's more
It's the kind of the
trustworthy. It's like the
leading
Cadillac version of well, that's cool, that's a great idea. Now how can they get that? Are you gonna put a link in
There
the
I
show notes?
it's on Amazon, I'll put it in the show notes. It's probably the same link that I used in the gift guide
The
episode,
gift
so
guide. Okay. Alright, great, I love that.
yeah.
Okay, so now it's time to close the show,
Wow.
and it's my week to do to share a well, for the
Mhm,
toast to sentiment, what we do is we share a quote, a story, a poem, and
mhm.
end with a toast to sentiment. So mine is from Irma Bombeck, which was um, my mother's favorite. Let me see if I can find it. I had him on my phone. Hazel.
Hazel.
She was my mother's favorite author, and she had all her books. And I remember hearing my mother just laughing, laughing, laughing in her room reading these books because Irma's wrote about finding the humor in parenting and in being
Mhm,
a woman. And one of her probably most well-known quotes was about if I had my life to live over. And
mm,
it's pretty long, so I don't want to read the whole thing, but let me see if I can find it. All right, so it's called If I Had My Life to Live Over, and this is by Irma Bombeck. I would have gone to bed when I was sick instead of pretending the earth would go into holding pattern if I weren't there for the day.
hmm,
I would have burned that pink candle sculpted like a rose before it melted in storage. I would have talked less and listened more. I would have invited friends over to dinner, even if the carpet was stained or the sofa was faded. I would have eaten the popcorn in the good living room and worried much less about the dirt when someone wanted to light a fire in the fireplace.
Hmm.
I would have taken the time to listen to my grandfather ramble about his youth. I would have shared more of the responsibility carried by my husband.
Hmm.
I would have insisted the car windows be rolled up on a summer day because I would never have insisted the car windows be rolled up on a sunny day because my hair has just been teased and sprayed. I would have sat on the lawn with my grass stains. I would have cried and laughed less while watching television and more while watching life.
Mm.
I would have never bought anything just because it was practical, wouldn't show soil, or was guaranteed to last a lifetime. Instead of wishing away 9 months of pregnancy, I would have cherished every moment and realized that the wonderment growing inside me was the only chance in life to assist God in a miracle.
Oh.
When my kids kissed me impetuously, I would have never said, "Later, now go get washed up for dinner." There would have been more "I love yous" and more "I'm sorries." But mostly, given another shot at life, I would have seized every minute, looked at it, and really seen it, lived it, and never give it back.
Hmm.
Stop sweating the small stuff.
Hmm.
Don't worry about who doesn't like you, who has more, or who's doing what. Instead, let's cherish the relationships we have with those who love us.
I love it.
And that's the season that I'm in right now.
Mm.
You know, I realize I have another good 20, 25 years. And I've realized we realize this after we lose our moms, after we lose our parents, that we don't get any of that time back.
Mm.
So for me, I want to encourage women, host the damn dinner. Nobody cares what your house looks like. Nobody cares that your stuff doesn't match.
Yeah.
People want to be in your world and in your community. And they want to abandon what is at home.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to be, and they want to be with you.
Yeah.
So if you're on the fence about not having people over because it stresses you out, take our advice that we shared in the last episode about buy to-go food.
Yeah.
Get a pizza. Sit on the floor. Sit on the dirty floor.
Yeah.
And just appreciate life right now.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Cheers.
Cheers to you. While we were doing the episode, I finished all my Diet Coke, so I'm going to drink this down.
Okay. I love Irma.
I do too.
Okay. Well, that is all for today's episode of the Sentimental Twist. We would love for you guys to follow us on our Instagram account, which is at the Sentimental Twist Podcast. Email us at the Sentimental Podcast. Wait, hold on. The Sentimental Twist Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a mouthful. And of course, please message us, send us emails, anything that resonated with you today, any ideas that you have that spun off anything we talked about today, or anything that you think of would be interesting for other listeners, recipes that you have to share, manners, ideas that you have to share. Well, let me think.
Quandaries. Maybe you've got an issue. Maybe, your daughter-in-law bothers you or something. I mean, I don't know.
Challenge us.
We'll challenge us. We'll solve all your problems.
That would be fun. And so you can find me at Brittany Shepard on Instagram, Brittany Shepard TSD on YouTube, and the sentimentaldecorator.com.
Then you can find me at Home with a Twist on Instagram, homewithatwist.com, or Home with a Twist on YouTube.
Very good.
Well, thanks for joining us on the Sentimental Twist,
where we believe every space tells a story,
and every story deserves a place at the table. Until next time.
Keep things cozy, collected, and a little bit sentimental.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all. See you.